It hasn't been a year since the city came out of bankruptcy under the grand bargain that protected the Detroit Institute of Arts. But now the D.I.A. wants to reward 3 executives with pay raises and bonuses, and part of the compensation would come from taxpayers. The D.I.A. chairman says the museum officials performed double the work during the bankruptcy process, and final approval must come from the 3 county art authorities. All right, guys, where do you fall on this whole situation? It never looks good. You can understand a lot of the reasons behind it, that you do have to compensate executives on par with the rest of the art world, but Nolan, do you have a problem with this?
That's a leapfroggy thing. I mean, I don't think you have to do anything because another city does it or another museum does it. This is a unique situation here, and this board, this D.I.A. board, continues to be tone deaf to what's going on here and public perception of this institution. The taxpayers dug deep in their pockets to bail them out. The retirees sacrificed, not perhaps as much as they thought they were going to, but they've sacrificed, everybody has sacrificed here in this process, and they're saying, well, gosh, they did such a good job, we're going to reward them with bonus. I'm not even sure that's true, by the way. They drug their feet for the greater part of this process, and it was outside forces who came in and crafted this deal. Now, some members of the board, Gene Gagaro particularly, were very instrumental in getting this innovative deal together. But I don't know if that trickles down to the staff meriting this kind of
well, I mean,
pay-off.
part of the issue here is, the museum gets beaten up a lot, and it got beat up through the bankruptcy process through no fault of its own. This is one of the best managed nonprofits we have here in Southeast Michigan. It has no debt. They have asked for taxpayer support not to fund operations, but to displace money so that they can build their endowment to the point where in 10 years they won't ask for any public money. Can you name another cultural institution that has done as much as they have
to
be able to be at that point even? There's no other cultural institution that could even make that kind of pledge because they've done things in the past. So to beat up the museum, I think, is a little off the point. The other thing that's true is that I have a real problem with these county commissions who don't know anything about the art world, don't know anything about nonprofits or the museum, deciding what people should make. The museum's board is the right place where those decisions ought to be made. They run the museum. They're the ones who put the museum in the position to be able to do these things. And if they think they need to compensate their executives at a certain level, I don't know why the county commission ought to second guess that.
When you go to taxpayers and say, we need your help, we need your money, you can't just say, give us that money and check and go away, no oversight. That's
but there
the
is
consequence
oversight
of going to the taxpayers. And that's where you position yourself.
But the oversight was not that you get to run the museum. The oversight was you get to help decide how the money that we're raising comes to the museum. But there are very clear provisions of those agreements that say you are not running the museum. You are not making decisions about how it runs.
Given this sign off on pay, or this ability to weigh in on pay. And when you make those trade-offs, you can't expect then the elected officials to say, we're just going to go away, you spend the money any way you want.
I mean, this is a world-class museum that just staged one of the most acclaimed exhibitions in the world this year. I don't want an Oakland County Commissioner who doesn't know a Picasso from a Wenmar deciding what those folks are going to make.
When you put yourself on the taxpayer lifeline, I mean, that's the consequence that comes with it. And they have to be sensitive to the optics here. And this quickly after their
the optics are important, but more important is the competency of the museum itself and preservation of our best cultural asset in the hands of people who know what they're doing, which I don't have I have no confidence in any of the county boards making those decisions in any better way.
That's the authority they were given.